We're going to jump right into it. Christen Miller, defensive tackle from Georgia. Now, Brian, this is the first time me saying this on Crown. We have to be careful when we make some of these player evaluations. And I think one thing that we have to account for, and this is the first kind of roadblock that I've run into with this one, is you have to account for how the college is using a player versus how they're going to be used in the league. You see what I'm saying? So you may look at a player play a certain kind of way in college, and you may have to add points or take points away per if you feel like they're playing in position, out of position, whatever. So Christen Miller, defensive tackle from Georgia, Brian BROADDUS, the first thing that I could say about him is that he lines up kind of all over the place, but they really squeeze him in that A-gap, Brian. They really put him in A-gap. They'll line him up, head up over the center. And sometimes what colleges will do is they'll take who they think is their best guy and just line them up at zero. A great example of this a couple years ago, Greg Rousseau, Brian, when he was with Miami, he was like 270-something pounds tall as hell, but they'll play him at zero.
Right.
And he'll beat the hell out of zero, but you'll go, man, in the league, you're probably not going to be doing that. Christen Miller is a guy, 305 pounds, Brian, moves really well. We got another good moving tackle. High effort, high motor. They use a bunch of slants with him, gap exchanges with him, but they slant him from zero. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be a B-gap player, 3-tech type dude, because he's 305-ish, 306-ish, and he's an upfield bursty guy. I don't think he has a bunch of two-gapping in his future, Brian, but he does have powerful hands, active hands, quick swiping club, and all this kind of stuff. And I think like his job on the league level is going to be like pass rushy type of upfield bursty tackle.
Right.
On his film, you may not see all that because he's at zero. So sometimes what'll happen is he'll get caught up in them doubles and you'll see him kind of get moved to the side. You know what I'm saying? He's a strong character and he does know how to play with decent leverage to where he's not getting whooped off the line of scrimmage, Brian. But I think he'll be so much better in one-on-one blocks in B-gap as opposed to getting double team, stuff like that, Brian. But pass rush moves, high effort, finisher, all this kind of stuff. Didn't get a feel for how many sacks he got because I didn't really like look up his numbers or anything like that. But he got a ton of pressure on quarterbacks, and when quarterbacks flush out, he's the type of dude that'll chase those guys down and sometimes catch them. He might be one of the more active, athletic guys that we have playing in a B-gap, Brian. I got a 2 on him. I got him after McDonald and Woods, but Christen Miller, put him at 3-tech, Brian. Let him fly. I think he'll be just fine right there, Brian.
When you watch these players and like you watch a Christen Miller play, but you were mentioning about scheme.
Yes, sir.
When you see those guys that are like 2-gap players, you know, when you and you're like, well, this guy doesn't look quick enough.
Sure.
It's like his guy's not getting off the ball. Yeah. But you see a guy that's like extending and kind of. It's a little bit with the Georgia guys, though. We were dealing with that with the Michigan guys, Georgia guys playing the way they play their schemes and stuff like that.
Yeah, please.
I kind of felt like though with this guy, you could watch him play, where he was almost like he was reading the blocker as like a 5 technique. And when we talk about the 5 technique, it's that head up guy, that head up on the tackle. And then you extend and you look inside, look outside. I kind of felt like there was some things with Christen Miller that's what he was doing. And so, you know, you got to be careful when you watch these guys. You say, well, he's not quick off the ball.
Yeah.
Well, it might be he's playing a two-gap technique where he's taught to read inside.
Punch and read and look around.
Exactly. So you're like, well, he's not coming off the ball. So I think that Christen Miller kind of falls into this mode. I think there's times where he's got really good upper body strength. I think he could be really good with the hands. Again, we're talking about the 2-gap technique stuff. There was a snap I was watching him against Georgia Tech where he's playing almost as an edge. So he's not playing a tackle. He's playing like on the outside. And he just 2-hand punches this tackle in the chest. Sure. And the guy gets driven back, you know, and now he's going off to make a play. So I think there's a good power there. I think the pad level, the base, I think go back. I mentioned the Alabama game. There, Simpson, the quarterback, he's trying to get outside, and what does Miller do? Miller keeps him inside the pocket. You see Simpson trying to kind of float, and Miller's
He can run.
Miller's up, and Miller's kind of pushing him back, not letting him get outside on the edge. So I've seen him crossface, go make plays in opposite gaps. This guy can win as a rusher, and I think you're right. He's going to win with power, is what he's going to do. But I kind of like the way that he does have the flexibility up and down the line. And usually, I hate this. If you tell me you have position flex,
Sure.
I'm usually thinking you're not good at anything.
Right.
But this guy actually at 6'4", 310, that's the measurables we have for him right now. He's a little bit different than some of these defensive tackles we've seen here, with the 330, 325 range and stuff like that. But I would like to see this guy, like I said, if he's going to two gap, I wonder if he's going to be that upfield kind of player. I think he can be. I think he can be. I think that you just have to know if you're watching Christian Miller play and you immediately say, he doesn't look quick off the ball, BROADDUS. VOCH, he doesn't look quick off the ball. Think about the technique that he's playing. It happened with some of these Michigan kids. I know everybody who's a Dallas Cowboys fan is like, no, we had that already. We all those two-gap guys, blah, blah, blah. Depending on what the scheme is, you're going to have to be able to evaluate these guys. I think Christian Miller's a pretty damn good football player. I give him the second round as well.
I think there's no way he goes to the league and he two gaps the whole time.
No.
I think there's no way. And even if he's not showing you the best ball get off all the time, you can see how he moves around.
Right.
And you can context clues it and go, I bet he gets off the ball if somebody tells him to get off the football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't like a Mozzie situation to where I never really saw Mozzie get off the football on top of the Michigan scheme tells him not to.
Right.
You see Christian Miller run all over the place. Well, He's flying.
Remember last year, though, when we were looking at the Michigan
Chris
kid?
Jenkins.
All those guys. There was more up the field.
Yep.
There was more up the field with the rush. And that's because you talk about that they were in a completely different scheme.
Yep.
Wink Martindale is get up the field
and go.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some teams. Jesse Minter, if he's still there at the Chargers, comes to that Michigan scheme and all that. This might be the type of guy that if you're all of a sudden you're seeing a little bit some two gap play that might like a guy like this.